The bright sun shined down on the big white boat floating in the blue sea. Cristiano Ronaldo stood at the edge of his yacht, looking out at the water. His skin was already tanned from days spent outside. He wore simple white shorts and no shirt, showing off the muscles that made him famous as one of the world's best soccer players. Behind him, Georgina Rodriguez walked across the deck. She wore a black bikini and a thin white cover-up that moved in the gentle wind. Her long dark hair was tied back, and big sunglasses covered her eyes. She moved with the grace that helped make her a successful model before she met Cristiano. "The water looks amazing today," she said, coming to stand next to him. Cristiano smiled and put his arm around her waist, pulling her close. "Not as amazing as you," he said. They had been together for 7 years now. In that time, they had built a family together. They had a daughter named Alana, and Georgina helped raise Cristiano's other children too, Cristiano Jr., and the twins Eva and Matteo. Last year, they welcomed twins again, though they lost their baby boy during childbirth, a pain that brought them even closer together. This vacation was special. For 2 weeks, they would sail around the Mediterranean, away from soccer fields, cameras, and business meetings. At least that was the plan. "Mama, Papa." Little Alana called, running across the deck with her brother chasing behind her. "Can we swim now?" Georgina laughed. "Yes, but you need sunscreen first." As she helped the children with sunscreen, Cristiano watched them with love in his eyes. His family meant everything to him. Sometimes he still couldn't believe how his life had changed since meeting Georgina in a Gucci store in Madrid, where she worked as a shop assistant. Later that afternoon, while the children napped below deck with their nanny watching over them, Cristiano and Georgina relaxed on large cushions at the back of the yacht. A small table between them held fresh fruit and cold drinks. "Are you happy?" Cristiano asked suddenly, looking at Georgina. She seemed surprised by the question. "Of course I am. Why do you ask?" Cristiano shrugged. "Sometimes I wonder if you miss having a normal life. Before all this." He waved his hand, indicating the luxury yacht, the staff, and the complicated life they led. Georgina reached for his hand. The large diamond ring on her finger caught the sunlight and sparkled brightly. It was a gift he had given her last year, not an engagement ring, though many people thought it was when they saw pictures of it. "I have everything I could want," she said. "We have our beautiful family. That's all that matters." What they didn't know was that a small boat had moved closer to their yacht. Inside it, a photographer with a long lens camera took picture after picture. He zoomed in on their hands touching, on the large ring, on their smiling faces as they talked closely. The next morning, as the yacht docked at a small port so they could get supplies, Cristiano's phone buzzed with messages. His friend sent him a link to a news story. The headline read, "Wedding bells for Ronaldo. Secret engagement during Mediterranean getaway." Cristiano shook his head and laughed. "Look at this," he said, showing Georgina the phone. She looked at the picture. It showed them holding hands, her ring clearly visible. The story claimed they were planning a secret wedding. "They never stop, do they?" she said with a small smile. "Never," Cristiano agreed. "But let them talk. We know what's real." Little did they know, this was just the beginning of the story. As their yacht sailed away from the port, heading toward their next destination, the rumors were already spreading across the world. By dinner time, the news had spread everywhere. Cristiano's phone would not stop ringing. His manager, his friends, and even his mother called to ask if the stories were true. Was he finally going to marry Georgina? "No, Mama, it's just another rumor," Cristiano explained as he walked around the yacht deck. The sun was setting, painting the sky in beautiful orange and pink colors. You know how these stories start. Someone takes a picture, and suddenly everyone thinks they know our plans. Georgina sat at a table on the deck, watching him talk on the phone. She could hear his mother's excited voice through the phone. Even after all these years, the question of marriage still made her feel strange. It wasn't that she needed a wedding to feel sure about their relationship. They had children together. They shared homes in different countries. They were a family in all the ways that mattered. But sometimes, when she saw other couples getting married, she wondered why they hadn't taken that step. After Cristiano finished his call, he came to sit with her. The chef they'd brought on the trip served them fresh fish and vegetables for dinner. "Everyone thinks we're getting married," he said with a smile, taking a bite of his food. "And what did you tell them?" Georgina asked. "I told them the truth, that we're happy as we are." He looked at her carefully. "Aren't we?" Georgina nodded, but something in her eyes made Cristiano pause. "Gio, what is it? Does it bother you? All these stories about us?" She shook her head. "Not the stories. I'm used to people talking about us. But sometimes I think about it. About marriage, I mean." Cristiano put down his fork. This was a conversation they had before, but never really finished. His own parents had a difficult marriage. His father drank too much and died young. It made Cristiano careful about the idea of marriage, even though he loved Georgina completely. "What are you thinking about it?" he asked. Before she could answer, the twins came running to the table, followed by Cristiano Jr., who held little Alana's hand. "Papa, can we watch a movie tonight?" Cristiano Jr. asked. The serious talk would have to wait. Family time came first, as it always did. They spent the evening watching an animated movie in the yacht's entertainment room, all cuddled together on a big couch. The children fell asleep before the movie ended. After putting the kids to bed, Cristiano found Georgina on the deck, looking at her phone with a worried face. "What's wrong?" he asked. She showed him her screen. It was filled with messages from people asking about the wedding rumors. Even worse, some gossip sites were making up details, saying they had planned a secret ceremony on a private island next week. "My sister just texted me asking why she wasn't invited to our wedding," Georgina said. "This is getting out of control." Cristiano sat next to her and took her phone, placing it face down on the table. "Tomorrow, let's go somewhere they can't follow us," he said. "I know a small beach that's very private. We can take the smaller boat and spend the day there, just us and the kids. No photographers, no rumors." Georgina smiled at the idea. "That sounds perfect." What they didn't know was that the rumors were just getting started. While they slept that night, their names became the top trending topic online. Wedding planners began claiming they had been contacted by Ronaldo's team. Designers said they were making Georgina's dress. None of it was true, but the whole world was now watching their every move, waiting for a wedding that wasn't even planned. As the yacht moved silently through the dark water, Cristiano and Georgina slept side by side, unaware that their small vacation was about to become much more complicated than they ever expected. Morning came with clear blue skies and warm sunshine. Cristiano woke up early, as he always did. Years of training as a top athlete had made this a habit. He quietly got out of bed, careful not to wake Georgina, and went up to the deck to do his morning exercises. As he finished his push-ups, he noticed several small boats in the distance. They were too far to see clearly, but he knew what they were. Paparazzi. The news stories had brought them like sharks smelling blood in the water. Cristiano sighed and went back inside. He found the yacht's captain drinking coffee in the kitchen area. "We have company," Cristiano said, pointing outside. The captain nodded. "I saw them." "What would you like to do, sir?" "Can we still reach that private beach we talked about?" "Yes, but we would need to take the small boat from a hidden cove. The yacht can't get close enough." "Perfect. We'll do that after breakfast." When Georgina woke up, Cristiano told her about his plan. They would take their small speedboat to a secret beach where no photographers could follow them. They would pack a picnic lunch and spend the whole day there with the children. After breakfast, they prepared for their beach day. The nannies helped get the children ready while Cristiano and Georgina packed food, drinks, toys, and towels. By mid-morning, they were ready to go. The captain steered the yacht into a small cove with high rocks on both sides. The paparazzi boats couldn't see them there. Quickly, the family boarded the smaller boat. One of the security guards drove it, speeding them along the coastline until they reached a hidden beach surrounded by tall cliffs. "It's beautiful," Georgina said as they stepped onto the soft white sand. The beach was small but perfect, with clear water and shade from the cliffs. The children ran straight to the water's edge, laughing and splashing. Cristiano Jr. was careful to watch his younger siblings, always the responsible big brother. Cristiano and Georgina set up a comfortable spot with beach towels and a large umbrella. For a few peaceful hours, they enjoyed being just a normal family. They built sandcastles, swam in the clear blue water, and ate their picnic lunch. There were no cameras, no headlines, and no questions about weddings or rings. As the afternoon went on, Cristiano and Georgina sat side by side watching the children play. "This is nice," she said. "Just us." Cristiano nodded. "This is what matters, not what people say about us." Georgina turned to look at him. "But what about what we say about us? We never really talk about it, Cristiano." "About marriage?" he asked quietly. "Yes. Is it something you don't want, or just something you haven't thought about?" Cristiano picked up a handful of sand and let it slowly fall through his fingers. "I think about it sometimes. My parents, their marriage wasn't happy. My father had problems with drinking. It made things hard for my mother." Georgina put her hand on his arm. "We're not them." "I know," he said. "And it's not that I don't want to marry you. I just wonder if we need it. We're happy as we are, aren't we?" Before Georgina could answer, they heard the sound of a motor. They both looked up to see a drone flying over the beach. Someone had found them. "You've got to be kidding me," Cristiano said, standing up quickly. "How did they find us here?" The drone flew lower, its camera clearly aimed at them. The peaceful day was over. Their private moment had been invaded once again. Cristiano waved to the security guard, who immediately began making calls for the boat to come back and get them. Their perfect day at the beach was cut short, and the conversation about their future remained unfinished. As they gathered their things and the children, both Cristiano and Georgina felt frustrated. Would they ever find a moment of true privacy to figure out what they really wanted for their future together? They returned to the yacht in a bad mood. The children were cranky because their beach day ended too soon. Cristiano was angry about the drone. Georgina was quiet, thinking about their unfinished talk. Once back on the yacht, Cristiano called his security team for a meeting. "This has gone too far," he said to the head of security, a big man named Marco who had worked for him for years. "We came here for privacy. Now we have boats and drones following us everywhere." "I'm sorry, sir," Marco said. "The drone came from one of the boats that has been following us. We're trying to find out which one." "Can we do anything about it?" Georgina asked. She had joined the meeting after putting the younger children down for naps. Marco thought for a moment. "We could change our plans. Everyone expects you to stay on the yacht and visit beaches. What if we do something completely different?" "Like what?" Cristiano asked. "There's a small mountain village about an hour from here. Very quiet, very private. Not the kind of place people would look for Cristiano Ronaldo. We could go there tomorrow." Cristiano looked at Georgina. "What do you think?" She smiled for the first time since they left the beach. "I think it sounds perfect. The children would love to see something different too." That evening, after the children were asleep, Cristiano and Georgina sat on the deck under the stars. The crew had set up a small table with candles and wine. It was their first moment alone all day. "I'm sorry about today," Cristiano said. "I wanted it to be special." "It's not your fault," Georgina replied. She took a sip of her wine. "But I am sorry we didn't finish our talk." Cristiano nodded. "About marriage?" "Yes." Georgina looked down at her hands. The diamond ring that had started all the rumors sparkled in the candlelight. "You said your parents' marriage makes you worried." "It's not just that," Cristiano said slowly. It's also about you. Georgina looked up, surprised. Me? What do you mean? You were a normal person before you met me. You worked in a shop. You could walk down the street without cameras following you. He waved his hand around the luxury yacht. All this came with me. And so did all the problems. The lack of privacy, the rumors, the pressure. Marriage would bring even more of that. Georgina reached across the table and took his hand. Cristiano, I chose this life with you. Yes, it has hard parts, but it also has so many good things. Our family, the chance to see the world, the ability to help people through charity. So you don't regret it, being with me? Never, she said firmly. Not for 1 second. He squeezed her hand. I love you, Gio. I hope you know that. Whether we get married or not, that will never change. She smiled. I know, and I love you too. For a while, they sat in comfortable silence, drinking wine and looking at the stars. The conversation wasn't finished, but they had made progress. For the first time, they were really talking about what marriage might mean for them. Below deck, Cristiano's phone buzzed with a message. It was from his sister, sending him a link to yet another news story. This one had pictures from the drone that had found them at the beach. The headline read, Secret Beach Proposal. Ronaldo and Georgina's private moment captured. The phone kept buzzing with more messages, but on the deck above, Cristiano and Georgina enjoyed their peaceful moment, unaware that tomorrow would bring even more speculation about their relationship. The next morning, the family got ready for their trip to the mountain village. The children were excited about the adventure. Cristiano Jr. helped pack snacks for his younger siblings. The twins, Eva and Matteo, jumped around asking if there would be animals to see. Little Alana sat quietly, brushing her doll's hair. Georgina wore simple clothes, jeans, a white t-shirt, and a hat to help hide her face. Cristiano also dressed simply in dark pants and a plain shirt. They wanted to blend in, not stand out. Everyone ready? Cristiano asked as they gathered on the deck. The yacht had moved during the night and was now anchored near a small, quiet port. Marco, the security chief, came to explain the plan. We have 2 cars waiting at the port. The first car is just for show. It will drive in the direction of the big tourist town. We hope any photographers will follow it. Your family will be in the second car, which will take the back road to the mountain village. The plan worked perfectly. When they reached the port, photographers were waiting. They quickly took pictures of the first car, thinking Cristiano and Georgina were inside. Then they followed it, not noticing the second car that left a few minutes later with the real family. The drive to the mountain village was beautiful. The road went up and up, winding around the mountainside. Below them, they could see the blue sea getting smaller. The twins pressed their faces against the windows, pointing at goats on the rocky slopes and birds flying overhead. After an hour, they reached the village. It was small and old, with stone houses and narrow streets. Flowers grew everywhere, in pots, on walls, hanging from balconies. The streets were too narrow for cars, so they parked at the edge of the village and walked in. It's like going back in time, Georgina said, looking around with wonder. An old woman sat outside her house, making lace by hand. She looked up as they passed and smiled, not recognizing the famous family. Children played in a small square, kicking a ball around. When they saw Cristiano Jr., they waved for him to join their game. Cristiano and Georgina watched their son run off to play soccer with the local children. The language difference didn't matter. Soccer was a language all its own. The twins and Alana found a friendly cat to pet while sitting on the steps of an old church. This was a great idea, Georgina said. No cameras, no questions, just a normal day. They walked through the village, holding hands. People nodded hello but didn't stare or ask for pictures. Most of them probably didn't even know who Cristiano was. In this small mountain place, far from soccer stadiums and fashion shows, they were just another family enjoying a day out. They found a small restaurant with tables in a garden under orange trees. The owner, an older man with a big smile, showed them to a table and brought them fresh bread, cheese, and olives to start. "I don't think he knows who you are," Georgina whispered, smiling. "It's nice," Cristiano admitted, "to just be a person, not Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer star." As they enjoyed their lunch, Cristiano watched his family. The children were happy. Georgina looked relaxed for the first time in days. Here, away from all the talk and questions about marriage, he could think clearly. He realized something important as he sat there in that quiet garden. The problem wasn't marriage itself. The problem was doing it with the whole world watching, turning something special into a media show. Maybe there was another way, a way that would be just for them, not for the cameras or the headlines. As Georgina laughed at something funny Alana said, Cristiano made a decision. He knew what he wanted to do. He just needed a little help to make it happen. While Georgina watched the children playing in the village square after lunch, Cristiano stepped away to make a phone call. He walked to a quiet corner near the old church and called his friend Miguel, who had been his friend since childhood. "Miguel, I need your help with something important," Cristiano said. "Anything, my friend? What do you need?" "I need you to get something from my house in Madrid and bring it to me here. But no one can know, especially not Georgina. Is everything okay?" Miguel asked, sounding worried. "Everything is perfect," Cristiano said with a smile. "That's why I'm doing this. I'll send you the details of where we are. Can you come tomorrow?" "Of course. I'll be there." When Cristiano returned to the square, he found Georgina sitting on a bench, watching the twins chase pigeons while Alana napped in her stroller. Cristiano Jr. was still playing soccer with the local boys. "Where did you go?" Georgina asked. "Just making a call about the yacht," he said. It wasn't exactly a lie, but it wasn't the whole truth either. He hated keeping secrets from her, but this one was special. They spent the rest of the afternoon exploring the village. They visited a small shop that sold handmade items and bought presents for everyone. Wooden toys for the children, a beautiful lace scarf for Georgina, and a hand-carved chess set for Cristiano. The shop owner was kind and wrapped everything in brown paper tied with string. As evening came, they found a small hotel at the edge of the village. It wasn't the luxury they were used to, but it was clean and comfortable. The owner gave them 2 connecting rooms, one for the parents and baby, one for the older children and their nanny. After dinner at the hotel's small restaurant, where they ate simple but delicious local food, they put the tired children to bed. Then Cristiano suggested he and Georgina take a walk. The night was warm and clear, with thousands of stars visible in the sky above the village. They walked hand in hand through the quiet streets, hearing only the sounds of crickets and distant voices from homes where families were ending their day. "Thank you for today," Georgina said. "It was wonderful to just be normal for a while." "I've been thinking," Cristiano said. They stopped at a viewpoint where they could see the lights of boats on the distant sea. "About us. About all the questions." Georgina looked at him. "And when I first became famous, I thought I had to share everything with the world. My goals, my awards, my life. But now I know that the most important things should be kept private." He turned to face her. "Our relationship is special. It shouldn't be for headlines or photos." "I agree," she said, "but that doesn't answer the question everyone keeps asking." "I know," he said, "but maybe the answer isn't yes or no. Maybe it's about doing things our own way, not the way people expect." Georgina smiled. "That sounds like you. You never do what people expect on the soccer field either." They laughed together, and for a moment, everything felt right. No pressure, no questions, just the 2 of them under the stars. Back at the hotel, as Georgina slept, Cristiano checked his phone. He had a message from Miguel. "Everything is set. I'll be there tomorrow at noon." Cristiano smiled in the darkness. His plan was coming together. Tomorrow would be a day Georgina would never forget. not because the world would see it, but because it would be just for them. The next morning, Cristiano woke up early. The sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky with pink and orange colors. He watched Georgina sleeping peacefully beside him and smiled. Today was going to be special. At breakfast, he told Georgina and the children about his plans for the day. "Today, we'll go to the top of the mountain," he said. "There's a beautiful old building there with the best view of the whole island." "How do we get there?" Georgina asked. "Is it a long walk?" "There's a path from the village," Cristiano explained. "It takes about an hour to walk up. I already asked at the hotel, and they say it's easy enough for the children." After breakfast, they packed water, snacks, and hats for everyone. The day was warm but not too hot, perfect for a mountain walk. As they were getting ready to leave the hotel, Cristiano checked his phone. He had a message from Miguel. "I'm here. Meet me at the church in 10 minutes. I just need to check something at the village shop," Cristiano told Georgina. "I'll meet you all at the church square in a few minutes." Before she could ask questions, he hurried away. Instead of going to the shop, he went to meet Miguel, who was waiting in a small car at the edge of the village. "Did you bring it?" Cristiano asked. Miguel smiled and handed him a small box. "Just as you asked. No one knows I'm here." "Thank you, my friend." Cristiano took the box and put it carefully in his pocket. "This means a lot to me." "She'll love it," Miguel said. "Good luck." When Cristiano joined his family at the church square, Georgina looked at him curiously. "Did you find what you needed at the shop?" "Yes," he said simply, patting his pocket. "Everything is perfect now." They began their walk up the mountain. The path was well marked and not too steep. The younger children ran ahead, excited to explore. Cristiano Jr. helped little Alana when the path got rocky. Cristiano and Georgina walked behind them, holding hands and enjoying the beautiful views. As they climbed higher, they could see more and more of the island and the sea around it. They spotted their yacht, looking tiny in the distance. They could see other islands on the horizon, and boats moving slowly across the water. "It's like we can see the whole world from here," Georgina said. After about an hour, they reached the top of the mountain. There stood an old stone building that had once been a lookout tower hundreds of years ago. Now it was open for visitors to enjoy the view. They found a perfect spot for a picnic on a grassy area near the tower. While the children ate their snacks, Cristiano seemed nervous. He kept checking his pocket and looking around. "Is everything okay?" Georgina asked. "You seem distracted." "Just thinking," he said. "Let's walk over to that viewpoint. I want to show you something." They walked to a stone wall at the edge of the mountain top. From there, they could see for miles in every direction. The view was breathtaking. Blue sea meeting blue sky, green mountains, and the small villages dotted across the island. "This is amazing," Georgina said. "Thank you for bringing us here." Cristiano took a deep breath. It was time. He had practiced what he wanted to say, but now all the words seemed to disappear from his mind. "Gio," he started, using his special nickname for her. "You know how much I love you, right?" She looked at him, suddenly serious. "Of course I do. And I love you too." Cristiano took her hands in his. Behind them, the children were playing, unaware of the important moment happening. The sun shined down on them, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of wildflowers. "For years, people have been asking when we would get married," he said. "I never had a good answer because I was thinking about it all wrong." Georgina looked at Cristiano with curious eyes. The wind gently moved her hair as she waited for him to continue. "I always thought marriage was something we would do for others. For the public, for tradition, for our families," Cristiano said. "But I was wrong. It's something we should do for us, if we do it at all." He reached into his pocket and pulled out the small box that Miguel had brought him. It wasn't wrapped in fancy paper or tied with a ribbon. It was a simple, old wooden box that looked like it had been kept safe for many years. "What is that?" Georgina asked, her voice soft. Before my father died, he gave me this, Cristiano explained. It was my grandmother's. He told me to save it for the most important moment of my life. He opened the box slowly. Inside was a ring. It wasn't as big or flashy as the diamond ring that had started all the rumors. This ring was older, simpler, with a small stone that caught the sunlight and sent tiny rainbows dancing across their hands. "It's beautiful," Georgina whispered. "My grandmother wore this ring for 50 years, Cristiano said. She and my grandfather didn't have much money, but they had a good life together. They loved each other through hard times and good times." Cristiano took the ring from the box. His hand was steady, but his heart was beating fast. "I don't care what the world thinks we should do," he said. "I only care about us, you, me, and our children. We can get married in a big ceremony with cameras and magazines watching, or we can get married quietly, just for us. Or we can stay as we are, knowing that papers and ceremonies don't make a family." He looked deep into her eyes. "What matters is that I love you, Georgina Rodriguez. I want to spend my life with you. Whatever that looks like, whatever we decide to call it, that's the truth." Tears filled Georgina's eyes. Cristiano. Before she could say more, they heard excited shouts. The children had found something and were calling for their parents to come see. The moment paused as they both looked over at their family. "Mom, Dad, come look," Cristiano Jr. called, waving at them. Cristiano smiled at Georgina. "We should go see what they found." "Wait," she said, touching his arm. "You didn't ask me a question." He laughed softly. "That's true. I didn't ask because I wanted to tell you something first. I wanted you to know that whatever you want, marriage or no marriage, I'm here with you. It's your choice too, not just mine." "And if I want to marry you?" she asked. "Then I would be the happiest man in the world," he said. The children called again, more insistent this time. "Go," Georgina said with a smile. "We can finish this talk later, but keep that ring safe." Cristiano carefully put the ring back in its box and returned it to his pocket. They walked hand in hand to where the children were gathered around a small stone structure. "Look what we found," Eva said excitedly. "It's a wishing well." The structure was indeed an old well, no longer used for water, but maintained as part of the historic site. A sign next to it explained that visitors could throw a coin and make a wish. "Can we make wishes?" Alana asked, looking up at her parents with hopeful eyes. Cristiano took some coins from his pocket and gave one to each child. "Of course, we can all make wishes." As the children took turns throwing their coins and making silent wishes, Cristiano and Georgina stood close together. They didn't need coins or wells for their wishes. They had already found what they wanted most: each other. The sun was starting to set as the family made their way back down the mountain. The children were tired but happy after their day of adventure. Cristiano carried little Alana on his shoulders while Georgina held hands with the twins. Cristiano Jr. walked ahead, looking back now and then to make sure everyone was following. Back at the hotel, after dinner and baths, the children fell asleep quickly. Cristiano and Georgina stepped out onto the small balcony of their room. The village was quiet now, with only a few lights glowing in windows. Above them, the stars filled the night sky. "So," Cristiano said, taking Georgina's hand, "we never finished our talk." She smiled. "You never got your answer." He reached into his pocket and took out the wooden box again. Opening it, he removed the ring and held it in his palm. "Georgina Rodriguez, will you marry me? Not for the world, not for the cameras, but for us." "Yes," she said without hesitation. "For us." He slipped the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, as if it had been made for her all those years ago. "It's more beautiful than any diamond," she said, looking at the simple ring with tears in her eyes. They shared a kiss under the stars, a private moment that belonged only to them. The next morning they packed their bags and prepared to leave the mountain village. Their peaceful break was coming to an end. It was time to return to the yacht, and then to their regular lives with all its public attention. As they walked through the village to their waiting car, Georgina wore her new ring. She also wore the diamond ring that had started all the rumors, but on her other hand, when Cristiano noticed, he raised an eyebrow. "I love both rings," she explained. "This one is for us," she said, touching the grandmother's ring. "And this one is for the world," she added, looking at the diamond. "Let them keep guessing." Cristiano laughed. "You're smart, you know that." When they returned to the yacht, the paparazzi were waiting. Camera flashes greeted them as they boarded. Georgina was careful to keep her left hand, with the grandmother's ring, hidden from view. But she waved with her right hand, making sure the diamond was visible. That evening, as they sailed away toward their next destination, Cristiano checked his phone. Just as they expected, new headlines had appeared. Ronaldo and Georgina return. Still no wedding. The ring remains. When will he propose? Sources say Ronaldo marriage plans on hold. He showed the headlines to Georgina, and they both laughed. "If only they knew," she said, looking down at her grandmother's ring, which she now wore on a thin chain around her neck, close to her heart, hidden from the cameras. 1 week later, they returned home. The vacation was over, but something had changed between them. They had made their choice, their way. When reporters asked about wedding plans at Cristiano's next press conference, he just smiled. "Some things are private," he said. "Not everything is for the public." Georgina, watching from home with their children, touched the ring hanging around her neck and smiled. The world would keep guessing, writing stories, and making up rumors. Let them talk. The truth was theirs alone. The speculation would continue, about rings and weddings and proposals on beaches and mountaintops. But Cristiano and Georgina knew what was real. Under the sun and sand of their Mediterranean vacation, they had found their own path forward, away from the cameras and headlines. In the end, that was all that mattered, not what the world thought they should do, but what was right for them and their family. Their love story would continue, some parts public, some parts private, but always on their own terms.